we're going to pass the time and attention. Let's all give our time and attention to our presenter, Nailima. And just, Nailima, if you're ever in the need of a good MC over there in Hawaii, I just want to be, let you know that I'm available and I'm ready. Okay.
Mahalo. Aloha Garden. Mahalo nui loa. Aloha mai kako. I know this is going to feel uncomfortable for all of you, but I would love to see all your faces. I've traveled all the way from Hawaii. Not I traveled. Just to let you know that it is 5:30 in the morning here. I woke up 2 o'clock this morning just to be with all of you. And yeah, we're 6 hours apart, people. Remember now, you guys are like way on the other side of the world. And I'm over here in Hawaii. We're 6 hours apart. So I woke up at 1:45 this morning and yesterday just to be with all of you. I'm honored. I'm very honored. And I would like to say mahalo nui. And mahalo means miigwech in our language. And yes, Gordon did not lie. Yes, I've been teaching for 36 years. And, just to let you know, at age 16, I've done many things, Yeah, it's kind of scary. My babies that I had are now 41 and 42 years old. That's how old they are. And I'm actually an elder. I may not look like an elder, but yes, I'm an elder. And yes, I've gone through 2 generations of speakers, and I'm working on the 3rd one now. I heard my preschool baby's child is now an immersion teacher. So yeah, kind of old, yeah, them, not me, just them. But anyways, what I was gonna talk to you about was, yes, I am from the island of Hawaii. I'm from the district of Keaukaha. I've been in this program for a very long time. I was a first immersion teacher way back in 1986. I learned the language in 1980. Those of you who weren't born, don't worry, you were with us at that time. I am a second language learner. My parents were native speakers. I found out that they were native speakers after they passed away. They actually went through the same thing like all our elders. They were ashamed to be native speakers, and they were beaten up for speaking their own language too. So I can really relate to what is going on. I found that very passionately in my life, to know that I could give back to my elders and my culture by learning the language. And so I learned it as a second language at the university level. I wasn't a perfect learner. People, when I took language, I was like a CDF kind of person. Okay, first year was C. So this is like, for those of you who think you can't learn it, get over it, okay? First year I was a C, and then second year was D, incomplete. And then third year I was on probation. Fourth year I had an F, so please keep this to yourselves. So fourth year I had F, and then I became a teacher after that. So you have hope, okay? And yeah, at that time, I learned about a language nest, about a preschool that they were going to speak Hawaiian, and I was very intrigued with it. Our cousins down in New Zealand, Aotearoa, the Maori people, also was opening up their language nests too. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about what is a language nest and the components of a language nest, how to create a language nest. What are the tools? What are the instruments that you need in order to have a successful language nest? Okay, I'm going to tell you this now, that it takes, not like in Hawaiian, I think probably the same with a lot of us. It doesn't take one person, it takes a village to raise a child. And I think you have that same concept. Everyone carries a responsibility, and it's very important. I'm going to try to fly really quick, not as fast, because right now I'm in Hawaii time, but I'm going to go through my my PowerPoint, okay? And please bear with me. And okay, let me see. Okay, can you guys see that? Yes? Can y'all see that? Yeah, okay. All right, let me see. Going from the very, here we go. Okay, my name is Nailima Gaison. I'm a teacher at Kekula o Navahi o Kalani o Pu'u. That was one of the immersion preschools that we have on our island. Okay. And again, I also teach language to fluent speakers for elders. It's my other job. at the University of Hawaii. I taught there for 32 years. After COVID, they released all of us lecturers, so I lost that job. But I always work. I'm also working with other Indigenous people. Currently, I am teaching in Fort Hall with the Shoshone Bannock people. Last year, I was in Newtown with the the Hadatsa gang up there, and I've been working. I went to your place, your beautiful island of Wapo, in June 2019. I had a chance to speak with all of you. It was beautiful. You have a beautiful island, from our island to your island. Beautiful. I really enjoyed it, and thank you for honoring me as your family member. I'm very honored to have Mino come and ask me to do this. Okay. Then let me see. This is what is a language, Ness? Okay. This is my interpretation of what it is. A language, it's a learning environment where the native language is a medium of education, meaning that no English is involved, a place where the entire curriculum is created in the native language with a cultural perspective. A family-based program where the families with the teachers and staff are the foundation. And also a program where the community and other Indigenous people throughout the world network together and support one another for the prosperity of the language and culture. Okay? And then you have the components of a language nest. We're going to go over the components. Okay? You create a vision statement or mission statement for your program, utilizing your resources. You also need staff, teachers, faculty, cultural enriched learning environment, curriculum, and parent and community involvement. Okay? In your creation, when you create a goal or a vision statement, what is the mission statement of your program? What are being addressed in your vision statement? Does your vision statement address the need for your language, culture, and people? And does your vision statement include your community and abroad? Okay. The resources used in your learning environment. Okay. The usage of recorded materials to teach staff and students. For teaching in a classroom, for in-service training teachers, for in-service teacher training, network with other Native educators, okay? Also your curriculum, very important. Creating new resources like the young ladies before me, you know, kudos to you guys, wonderful job. Keep creating, but at the same time, you have your way of doing things. Get creative, use what you have and get creative. I would encourage everyone to get creative. Your curriculum, currently accurate, the depiction of the material, the native perspective, you know, the quality of the material content. Is it age appropriate? Is it teacher friendly? Can anyone utilize your material? The new material, in making new material, that's part of our job. That's part of everyone's job. You know, being able to create and utilize your lessons, you know, network with other teachers and educators, seeing the excitement on the faces of your students. These are evidence that would just happen for this past yesterday and today. It was very evident to see your language thriving through watching all the students as well as the elders and native speakers and teachers interact with one another. Having your students engaged in education, they in turn take it home and teach their family. That's another way. That was just said before this, having you guys as parents, you know, fellow teachers, elders, take home and continue the language. Okay? Having the students do presentations with what you have taught them and using their creativity. Having the children create curriculum. They themselves will learn from the educational material they develop. Assess your work through the comprehension of your students. Watch the students as you're listening to them, they're going to be repeating a lot of your language. You're going to hear that. That's how you assess them. And taking the lessons to the next level with extended activities. With that, you're going to go outside, teach them, come back in, go from there and do extended activities from what you did outside, bring it into indoors and have them create what they've learned and then take that to the next level. Okay. Quality of native language is very important in a language nest. As educators, students, and staff, etc. The language classes for family community. We do have a program where parents get to learn. Of course, it's not only in the program, but it's in the community. You yourself, as family support members, find other ways. They're available. It's how you obtain it, and it's how you indulge yourself in learning your language. We also have adult education courses, and it's great that I've heard this resonate throughout the entire conference, how you guys are going to learn as adult learners. You know, we have teacher training courses. Again, that was really nice to hear about what our presenter before us doing, young fellow. Great job. Mahalo nui. Thank you. And the uses of native speakers, having native speakers come into your learning environment. And Mino had said, you know, not to have native speakers at their age, you know, work all day, but utilize their ability and sharing their breadth of language in the learning environment. And of course, keeping English outside is very important. Not in the learning language, but English should be outside of the language, outside of the learning environment. Because the more the students are engaged in the language, the faster they will learn the language. Through my years, I've seen students become very fluent in 3 months period. So it is very possible. As for teachers and adults, if they can come in and absorb and be like the children, you're gonna learn quicker if you indulge. And you can come in and volunteer. You can also learn with the children. Quality native language. You want accuracy, you want spelling, grammar, pronunciation in the context of your language. It's a very important, very, very important. You don't want just jibber jabber kind of talk. You know what I mean? You don't want Creole native language being spoken in your environment. You want quality language, and that's very important as language educators ourselves. Okay. The usage of other dialects. You guys come from different dialects. You listen and utilize. Use appropriate when discussing teacher storytelling. Teach other dialects at the same time. Say, for instance, in the time of usage, we come from 8 islands. Other islands have certain ways of saying things. What I do as a teacher, I use all the different words from the different islands because the children come from different islands. So to unify all of them, what I do is try to learn the language from other islands. And then when they go to see their uncle, their auntie, their relatives, it's easier for them to pick up. And they're also learning holistically. Okay. Designated area of the usage of your native language in a learning environment. You keep the learning environment in native language only to strengthen the language usage in the. So what happens is when you're in this learning environment, you have to be very, very aware that speaking English is gonna deter you from going forward. Speaking your native language is very important. Keeping it in the native language. And designate an area where you can actually, like for me, when there was a language nest, we used to go into the little kitchen, shut the door, and then we could speak English. Parents, when they come into your educational for me, when parents came into the school, I point to the door and I take them back outside because I'm trying to create a fluent Hawaiian speaking environment. You got to be really tough. It's called tough love, my people. You know what I mean? And define designated learning areas and different spaces to speak English. Outside of the classroom, teacher's desk, away from students, whispering voice, refrain other staff members, colleagues, parents, speaking English in the learning environment. And everyone needs to respect each other's learning spaces. It's very important. Like I said, it's a community, yeah, everybody, and to respect your level of fluency and what level you're at. You know, it's like, you don't know how to say this? Well, learn. You're gonna learn together. It's a learning. You're on in a canoe and you're learning together. Basically the same that same concept of unification in learning, as well as for teaching children. Okay. Now, utilizing space in a learning environment, the furniture that you use in your classroom, the quality of furniture, these are all questions you can ask. Is it sturdy, being used in its fully potential, stifling the child's learning, wasted space in your classroom cluttered or too spacious? You got to be very aware of how you set up your learning area. You don't want, for a language nest, you don't want activities that are allowed next to a reading corner. You got to know how to put that all together. You know what I mean? You have circle area. The circle should be big enough and not squished up where the children are all clamped together in a small area. They should be able to move around where they're sleeping, where they're learning, where they're eating. These are very designated. These are very strong designated. Playing, indoor activity, outdoor activity, making sure all your material and your furniture is very sturdy and being able to do its purpose. Okay. Language enriched environment, no English words displayed. Yes, that's very important to have a language enriched environment. You're not going to put English words at all on your wall. You're going to put children learn differently. They can learn visually by looking at things, and they can actually see things, but when they see your native language, that's another way of how they learn, through vision. Okay. Another thing is native language only, labeled areas. Everything should be labeled in your native language, continually changing. You do not want a stagnant area by just keeping it, oh, that's there for the past. No. Change it around. Change your learning environment. Okay. Children get stagnant, they won't learn. Adults get comfortable. Oh, yeah, we'll do it next month. Yeah, no. Make it into a habit, people. Make it into a habit. And when you're actually doing your environment, do a weekly cleansing, meaning you go through everything that a child touches. You just disinfect. Oh yeah, every Fridays, you get all the cots, whatever you have, the children, you sanitizing, you have it vacuumed. Yeah, the whole place needs to be turned out, cleaned every single week. It's an ongoing thing. Okay. Let me see. Is it an age appropriate? Is it that space that you've developed? Is it engaging? When children are speaking English, how do you turn them back into the language? You remind them, you speak. They speak English, but you speak your language, and that's how fast your language can grow. When they say, I have to go to the bathroom, ole. So they sit down, ay, nohoy lalo. What did you say? Nohoy lalo. What did you say? Nohoy lalo. You're saying sit down, ay, nohoy lalo. Oh, okay, okay. And then so they kind of understand when you kind of like say, you're gonna say the words. And those of you who teach children as well as teachers, but for children, you're gonna say the word 1,075 times in one day, just to let you know. You're gonna say, and those of you who taught early child education, you're gonna say the same word 100,000 times in one day, and you're gonna think, are the children learning? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Don't give up. Don't give up. Okay. Utilizing the space learning. Okay, here's some more. Language enriched environment. Wait, is this the one? Yes, native language. Okay. Yes, we did this. All right, here we go. Cultural environment. The depiction of pictures and words in your learning environment is very important. Who are the pictures that they see in your environment? Does that make sense? Yes, it does, because they can relate to what they see, the depiction of pictures. Okay. Culturally sensitive. Is it culturally sensitive? Meaning, what are the children will relate to pictures that they have on the wall, which depicts themselves, and they can really, they're internalizing that at that particular time. Mm-hmm. Educationally appropriate. Know the age of the children, know what level what grade they're at, and all of that. Use humor when teaching, interacting with one another, both with colleagues, family members, and with the students. Yes. Enjoy yourself. If not, don't be in the environment. I'm gonna tell you this now. Don't be in there if you're not happy. If you're not a happy camper, then go camp someplace else. But it's gonna take humor, of course, is gonna keep us all sane. Okay. Building trust with one another and the ability to laugh at yourself and each other. I love it when I love it when somebody had mentioned about making mistakes. The children look at you and they're like, but they learn quickly. And you're showing them truth, that it's healthy to make a mistake and it's okay because we're all human. But when they see you do that, they feel themselves that they can make mistakes, and through the mistake, that becomes a lesson. Okay. The parent involvement, having a school board with the parent, the teacher, community member, etc. Parents do in-kind service to the school on a daily and monthly service. The parents come in and cut the grass. The parents come in and help clean the bathroom, the kitchen. So that's an ongoing thing. Parents are very involved in the program. Weekly, culturally enriched classes, as well as updates of the school. We have that every month. Every week, our school parents, now because we're on, we go to every week, we have a Zoom class for it's on Zoom, and parents get to watch the growth of the children. So my little children are gonna do a presentation about the circle of the cycle of water. So we're gonna do that in 2 weeks. So every grade level get to present to the parents during these evenings. Okay. Having parents volunteer in the school and on excursion. That's a great way for the parents. Children are very proud when they see their mommy and their daddy learning. And then when the mom and dad don't understand, the child will whisper to them. And that bond is beautiful, people. Very beautiful. And that it's a learning experience for the child as well as for you. And the grandma, uncle, auntie, cousin, ohana, family. We say ohana, family. Very important. And the children, they're very happy when they see their family in the learning environment. We have home in and approved snacks for the school. Parents can do that. Monthly parent meeting, talking about update stuffs and whatever the upcoming events and whatever have you. Yearly events, school functions. Say for instance, we have our concert for our school, and each grade level does something for a concert. It's a free concert, and parents, we perform, me and some other colleagues, and we have entertainings, we sing. And that's a day that all the different grade levels come together, as well as family members. And we outreach to the community that way. Okay. Parent-teacher conferences, we're always having those, talking about the growth of the child, the assessment and whatever have you. Concerns. We have this thing called the uomamo. Uomamo is a cluster of feathers. And these feathers, there's 3 feathers in this cluster. One is a child, one is a parent, and one is a teacher. And together, we make a lei. And that's the entire school. So you have concern, as a parent, you go to this one parent representative, and then we all be together. So anything pertaining to the class, grade level, we get together. And this thing called Family Day. Each grade level, as well as the preschool, have a day called Family Day. And the people, the uomamo, the class representative, as well as the teacher, they come up with ideas of how we can have a gathering for the parent outside of the school environment. You can go down the beach, have a beach day, go up to the mountains, go gather, do a lot of stuff. That's when you have the interrelationship with your school and your parents and your family members. That's when you can bring the elders in. They can have little elder, the natives who can take a nature walk, go down to the beach, go swimming and all of that stuff. Go in a gardening, do crafts with the elders, with the parents, have the children teach the parents how to do some stuff. So that's a time to interact with one another. Yeah. The community involvement. Of course, you have this. You have the of course, part of being a school board, community resources. You have native speakers. You have artisans. They can come into a school. Holiday events, parades. Our school is in a Christmas parade. Yes, and we sing. The entire school sings the beginning of a Christmas parade in our little town. And because I'm the music teacher for the entire school of 600 students, me and my niece, you see me and all the little people, I mean, students and parents, we're all singing, having dressed like little elves and everything else. And we also have other community events held in our, and so we also do that. Community donations, when you talk to the stores, your restaurants, your businesses, they themselves can contribute to many things in your school. Tap into your community. Tap into your community. Okay. And then you have higher education, volunteer teacher training on campus. What we do also is we're also a part of the University of Hawaii College of Hawaiian Language. We are a lab school. Students come in to learn how to teacher train in our environment. So it's a whole cycle. So they come in, they learn how to teach, so it becomes a big, big cycle. I myself went to the university to get my certification, came back into the school, student teach, and then I became a teacher. Okay. And then you have cultural and community events. Okay. So closing remarks. These are tools that will help create a language nest where your language and culture will thrive to the souls, voices, and bodies of the next generation, where the breath of eternal life of your elders, your families, your people, your spirit lives on with the Creator's guidance, wisdom, and protection. Ta-da! How was that? Any questions? Any regrets? No, I'm just playing. But yeah, thank you. There's a lot. There's so much that I want to talk to you guys about where, I try to put it into if I really went too fast, sorry. But, I'm what you call a generation hopper. What's a generation hopper? A generation hopper who teaches preschool kindergarten, and then teach at the university on the same day. And then on Saturdays, they teach language to students throughout the world. I have students who are fluent speakers from Germany, England, Spain, New York, Connecticut, Georgia, Utah, Washington, California, and they're all fluent speakers. But that's when I teach them. And they're my age, they're elders. And and they're all fluent speakers. I don't teach them how to speak. I give them activities of how to utilize their language. Where is that person who just did the presentation? Did she leave? What is her name? Miko, are you still here? Miko. No, she's gone. Did she leave? Anyways, I had an idea that just came to my mind. When you're in a learning environment and you have just parents and you're a fluent speaker, the easiest way to teach your parents or adults is like Simon Says. Because right now I can teach all of you Hawaiian in half an hour, and we're not going to speak any English, and you will understand. You'll be able to comprehend. I don't know about speaking, but you'll be able to understand and comprehend. But yeah, I was thinking about when she was talking about her school and how she could utilize the time period while having the parents in the learning environment. So right now, I want to know if you guys have any questions or any last regrets. No, I'm just playing. Any thoughts, anything? Because right now it's
Nailima, they said that Tiffany is helping the elders, assisting the elders at the BBK. So, but
great.
Yeah, come on, everybody. You must have some questions for this gentleman all the way from Hawaii. I knew you were getting up super early. I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah, 1:45 in the morning for 2 days.
You should have just stayed up all night.
Right, and it's like this, and by the time I'm done. So
Yeah.
right now it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning here.
That's wild. That blows my mind.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
any questions? Any questions from
Isabel?
anybody? Yep, we have a, yep.
Isabel, hi.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so
Great.
much for waking up or not sleeping for us. We appreciate that. My question is that I have been raised off reserve. So first of all, so never speaking, but it sounds as though that obviously I wasn't taught the language from my dad. My dad was a fluent speaker, but like many of you guys, that he didn't tell, we didn't know until the end of his life, right? So my question is that I'm just starting to learn the language very slowly. But is there anything that you have seen in your experience for helping people, you know, not on the island, for instance, and how you've been able to resource and help other members?
Well, there's so much different, like somebody had mentioned before this, that the language is out there to be learned. It's how passionate you are to learning the language. It is. And if you go into different resources, I think of how you guys, and what language are you talking about? The Ojibwe language? Yes, because I work with the Minnesota gang out there too.
Okay.
You know, and there's and it's available. And I'm so happy. Congratulations to you guys with your Rosetta going forward. You know what I mean? But that's why I think, and where you live on the island or off the island? Where do you live?
No, I live closer to Toronto, so 3 hours away from the reserve.
Yeah. I know where that is because I work with the Six Nation gang up there in Australia. But yeah, I think with that, it's utilizing. And here's another thing: if you're a language learner, utilize your language ability. Text each other in Hawaiian, in your language, in Ojibwe, FaceTime in Ojibwe, and, you know, face to face. And if you have people that you know and feel comfortable in or with, speaking it. Utilize your educational system if you have like a distance learning. Okay, how's that sound, Laura? I mean, Isabel, like distant learning, or like, say for instance, evening courses, maybe your island has, or what you can do is actually, if you guys can network together, you know, see if you guys can come up with evening courses, adult classes, cultural events. I love that idea of having where, you know, you guys get together and have fluent speakers in an area, and, you know, have a language day. I mean, every other weekend or something. Down at your big field. Why, I know where it is because I've been there. With that little, what is it called? That little circle, I don't know. By the water, what is the arena? No, what is it called? Is that arena? People help me out because that's your island, not mine.
Like the powwow grounds? The powwow grounds?
Over there. Yes, over there. Yeah, I mean, you know.
High Banks, yeah.
Yeah, have things over there, gathering, whatever. It's a beautiful place. You guys.
It's underwater right now, but.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. But, you know, like that kind of stuff, and see what you can come up with. I mean, you know, networking with one another is very important. How's that? Thank you.
Thank you, Miigwech.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, Isabel, for your question. Anybody else have a question for Naaalima?
Hey, Giizhik Kwe, I left the room, but I was told that there was a question for me.
No, that you did a horrible job. No, you did a wonderful job. So what I was thinking, I wanted to tell you is, you know, when you have the parents and the children are taking a nap.
What?
Play simple Simon with them.
Oh.
Stand up, sit down, point to the wall, touch the wall, come back, sit down, stand up, touch the table, bring the chair, do all of that, and you're gonna see how fast they're gonna learn.
How?
Okay, you got it. You know, and they're gonna be intimidated, but you say, okay, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, go to the wall, come back, go to the wall, come back, touch, point, look, all of these commands, and the parents will pick it, because that's what I teach at the university. It's called Hawaiian Language in Action, and what it is like a TPR. Yes. Total physical response. And that's what I've been teaching for the past 20 years at the university. And it'll work with you. It'll work with you because you have time down. It's called downtime with the parents. Play with them in the language. And you know what you can do is actually have them go around the whole classroom and pick up stuff. You know, utilize your learning environment as an educational tool for the language to the parents,
Oh.
and for as well as for your fellow worker. And what is their name? That
Loretta?
EIEIO.
Loretta.
Yeah, you know EIEIO. Tell her get off it. She can learn it. I know she can. It's there to be learned. You know, I
Yeah.
know she can learn it. You know, we're gonna hold that against her. Next time she's gonna sing the whole song by herself. You know,
Wow.
but I know she can do it. Tell her she has the ability. I know she can.
I
Okay.
believe it too.
Yeah, you just keep on going. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Nailima, we have
Yes.
another question in the chat.
Sure.
It says, is virtual learning just as effective and as classroom learning? I would like to learn virtually and have the language readily available at the push of a button. That's from
Okay.
Grace
Okay.
Naughty.
And that's Ann Michael, right?
It's Grace Naughty.
Okay, Grace, where are you, Grace?
She's in the chat. She's watching though.
No, but I want to see you, Grace. I
Okay,
want to
Grace.
look at you. I want to Grace your
Gracie, turn your camera on.
Yeah, so I can see who I'm talking to, Grace. I'm a teacher. I'm sorry. I'm a kindergarten teacher. I need to see
Yeah.
who I'm talking to.
Sorry.
And she's my cousin, so I can talk to her like that.
Can you
No,
hear me?
I'm just playing, Grace.
Yeah.
Okay, Grace, here's my thought to you guys. You ready? You try thinking. Now we're on Zoom, okay, people? You try teaching 47 preschool kindergarten children on Zoom. Think about it. That's how we've been teaching all this year since COVID. We've been teaching like this, and it's very, very hard. But to be disciplined in what you do, okay? And what you should be doing is, so your question was about virtual learning?
Yeah,
Grace?
she said,
I'm
it's
not sure if you can hear me.
yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
I can-
okay.
Yeah.
I can hear your beautiful voice, Grace.
Okay. Yeah, like how would you go about doing it virtually? And virtually is, I know, challenging to some people, but it's still basically the main way to learn because of COVID. I just wondered, like, in order for a program to be successful, whether it's in classroom or virtually, like how do you go about it?
Okay, so here's my thought for virtual learning in the past experience, what I've had the past 2 years. They're not going to learn the language faster if it's virtually, because there is a downfall to it, if you will. Okay, so when I've been teaching the children, the kindergarten babies, when I would talk to them, I would not speak English, but the children would look at the parents or the people that's around them and tell them what they're saying. So the parents are like, I would say to the children, and the parents are like, I think your teacher's calling you now. So that already there's translation going. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So when you're translating that way, it's not going to internalize quickly, if you will. Okay. The children had a hard time learning that because what happened is they're being translated. When you immerse somebody in a language, they physically, spiritually, everly learning the language. When they come face to face, I see them and I do a helemai noho ilalo. I don't say, come here, sit down. Helemai noho ilalo. They already know that. But when you're doing it virtually, it's good. There is going to be some obstacle in the virtual side because you have influences over here that the teacher does not have control of. Does that make sense, Grace?
Yeah, it does. I was just, I don't know, maybe as a recommendation, because I don't have access to the language on a daily basis as much as I would like to.
But what you can do, Grace, here's my thought to you. Still learn it via virtual learning, because that is the way that you're going to be. It's called discipline. Because you can go online, but it's how you discipline yourself to make it hard on you. Because if you're gonna feel like, oh, I'm not happy, you're gonna go back into, then you're gonna look for the easy way out versus try to struggle. The harder you struggle, the faster you're gonna the faster you're gonna learn it. That's just my thought, people. Okay, but at the same time, it's good to fall, but try and network with one another. If you feel that you're getting frustrated by yourself, then grab somebody else or work with other people at the same time. So you guys can look I hate to say this, you guys gonna look ugly together, and one day you're gonna be beautiful. You know, I'm just playing. I'm sorry.
Jimmy Kwe.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Good luck, Grace.
All righty.
All right.
All right.
Anyway,
Yep.
yes.
Any final words, Nailima?
Yes. Well, bro, last chance.
Hi, I have a question about, I'm a parent and I live far away from home. I live in Newfoundland. And so I don't have access to the language on a continual basis. I speak to my kids as much as I can. They only answer me in English. And so they understand and they can say some of the words. What can I do to help my kids to respond in English? And I get it. I was an ECE myself, so I get it, having to say things over and over and over and over. I know that. But my kids are 5 and 6, and they still won't answer me in the language.
But they understand.
They do.
So your journey is half done. It's just trying to keep them coming from their mouth out, right? Persevere, brother. Just persevere. You have to, because what happened is, for me, it's more like playing a game. You got to know how to play a game with children at that age. Play a game. Let's not speak English. Let's see how far we can do this. And you kind of challenge them. Put that ball into their court and let them dribble that ball.
Okay.
Meaning, have them try to. You got okay. From now on, no, we're gonna try to speak. Your language, and speak it, and we're not gonna give up. And what happened is, see how long. And so you kind of like children that day. They like challenge. So you challenge them. See how far you can go, and then build on that. Okay.
And secondly, because I'm not tech savvy, I would like to create some type of a video or something of basket making. I'm a sweetgrass basket maker, and I do traditional quill work and basket making. So I would like to have that translated and made available to people in my community, as well as whoever wants it. What kind of resources were available in for knowledge keepers in your culture to be able to create online resources for that?
Now we have this thing called YouTube. You can do a lot of stuff, and for like, there's so much examples that was given before me, how to create, video that like the fella with the ukulele, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that like that. And the female with the creating song, music, all of that stuff. Video is very, very strong. It's a medium of that. It's a medium of education that we can take to the next level, and you can do it too.
So were there traditional arts in your culture that were rare, so that they were able to pass on through video?
Well, a lot of the native speakers passed on, but luckily they were actually documented before.
Okay.
So they were documented, but you got to remember, at one time there were only 500 native Hawaiian speakers left 40 years ago. And that's it. Under the age of 18, there were only 30 children that spoke our language. That's how dire need we needed to do something. So we did that. But recording is very, very strong tool that you can use. Record yourself and network with others. You'll get ahead. Okay. So to end that, yes, there's over 28,000 Hawaiian speakers right now. So anyways, I thank you so much. With that, I'd say, Hele mahalo ki ia o ko apau no ko aloha palen o le au. Hele mahalo ki ia I naka naka I ako ko mane. No na alkai an mena po e ako ko ni hele mahalo ki ia o ko. Na ke kuno ho po mai ka ia o ko apu ka o ko hana. I'm very honored and I'm very blessed to be a part of all of you, to the coordinators, to all of you language fire keepers. Go for it. The world's out there, and thank you so much for the small amount of time I have with all of you. And I'll say, creative be with all of you, and be steadfast. Miigwech. Aloha.
All right. Thank you very much, Nailima. Nice big round of applause virtually for our beautiful presenter. Thank you very much for sharing just a glimpse of your beautiful language and your culture. And I'm sure we would all love to visit your homeland one day. Oh,
it's horrible weather, brother. It's horrible weather we have.
Yeah. Bad surfing, bad.
Yeah, it's right now it's like 70 degrees. It's horrible.
All right.